Hello, everyone. You're on the Madlife podcast.
Hey,
you're listening to the Madlife podcast.
What's up, guys? We're back.
We've got Mad here, Kyler here, and little Cohen.
Our last episode was super cool. It was super cool to have an Olympic medalist on your podcast. How cool was that? Michaela Skinner.
That was such a cool podcast to hear her story. Just not know about her story. I had no idea that she almost didn't make the Olympics.
Quite inspirational.
Yes, it's crazy.
Super important to listen to.
Yeah. I don't know if Cohen's going to last here, guys. He's just here because we don't have a babysitter today, so he's just going to be wandering. Our nanny's officially gone.
That is the saddest thing ever. She was the best nanny you could ever ask for. I'm talking about not just a nanny, like she cooked, she cleaned, she kind of did it all. She
helped with everything.
And you should see our house right now.
It's a disaster. She's been gone for a week now and it's a mess, but we've been keeping up on it a little bit, but it really is so hard as a mom or a dad to keep the house clean when you're also trying to have fun with the kids and do activities and
run a business.
We
are calloused for sure. We're calloused. We might need a little more help, you know?
We're in that survival mode right now. I was talking to my sister-in-law last night about how there's just different seasons for things and it's so hard not to compare yourself to people that are in other seasons. I find myself a lot of the times comparing myself to somebody who's going on lots of trips or has a perfect house or whatever it is. And I find that, right now what we're focusing on is these little kids, raising them. And that's a big job in itself. So just realize that comparing yourself never helps. Whenever I start getting down on myself and comparing myself, I just get on my knees, say a prayer and thank God for what I have right now, because there's people that wish they had what we had, which is children. So if you're wishing you had a clean house for once, Kyler, just think, we have a messy house because there's kids here.
What we were watching last night, there was something I said to you. We were watching 1923, the end of 1923, and there was something. One of the characters says to her fiance or her husband. She says some people search their whole life for this type of love, and never find it, right?
They never find it.
That's true. There are so many people in this world who will never fall in love. There's so many people who never have kids.
Yep.
Never have any of that. So you just have to be kind of grateful for where you're at.
Yeah. Everyone has something to be grateful for at all times. So it is hard not to compare ourselves. I feel like nowadays, it's just right in front of you. Instagram, you're constantly scrolling and comparing all day long. And we were talking last night about sometimes when you blow up or you have a day where you're just so frustrated. And almost every single time I have a day where I am so mad and I'm yelling at people or
it's because
I yell sometimes, guys.
You were comparing yourself.
It's because I was comparing myself to somebody. and sometimes I'll sit back and go, okay, where did this start from? Where did the anger start from? It usually stems from me scrolling, seeing something that feels out of my reach that I can't accomplish or have that I want. And then I start feeling down on myself. I start feeling hopeless. I start feeling like I'm not good enough. All the things that we should not be feeling, that God doesn't want us to be feeling. And instantly I'm in this dark hole. And then when I come out into my kitchen or anything's not going right or our house is a mess, then I'm just extra angry. And it's because I just feel less of.
It's been hard for us, you know what I mean? I kind of liken our life unto a race, right? Because we have been running so hard for 9 years at this business. We were one of the top YouTubers at one time. We had a great thing going. We were just destroying life, right? It was amazing, and things have slowed up a little bit because our mindset has shifted a little bit. We want to spend a lot more time with our kids and we have honestly no choice as well. We have no choice. So it's like a race. It's like carrying an extra 25 pounds in the race, with every child. Yep. It gets pretty heavy. And so you slow down a little bit. You're saying
there's other influencers that are running faster than us and you can't catch up because you got pounds on you.
I got pounds on us.
But do you also feel
really
like,
doesn't matter though.
Do you also feel like what we've created, if you change your perspective and you say we were crushing life, you're saying we're crushing life maybe for views wise, money wise, but I would say now we're crushing life in a different way. With having kids.
We have the most beautiful family in the world. I believe that. and
they're very cute.
And I feel so grateful to have what we have right now.
Exactly. So
We just bought a house down in South Orange County.
We officially bought it, but we're not officially ours yet.
We don't know. We don't know what we're doing. No, it's pretty done deal. Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, it's pretty done deal.
Okay. If 100% we get the house, which we'll know probably in the next week.
We got the house. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Well, that's good. Well, then that means we are moving probably in July.
Yep. We're probably moving in July. We don't know 100% we're going to do this house. Oh my gosh. We might keep this house. Hey, buddy, you're going to be on the podcast with us?
He's so cute.
Woo!
If you guys are listening and you can't see, Cohen was sitting with me, and now he's sitting on this little bench between us, acting all proper like a big boy.
Big boy, 2 years old this week.
He's going to be 2 years old this week.
He's so cool. Whoa.
But I really do feel like my true self. I feel like my true self in California. We've already talked about this on the last podcast. All our family lives there. We're excited to go. It'll be a good new chapter.
We've actually made a lot of moves lately. We got a place in Nashville.
We did.
We got a place in Nashville so that when I'm in town or when we're in town, we're able to do our thing there, you know? I had some really great meetings this week, which I'm really excited about.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
It makes me so happy to see new things happening. We're kind of like transitioning out of just making videos and that we're starting podcasts and you're doing music.
I'm really enjoying doing music and it's kind of a slow roll, but that's how it is, you know, in that world. It's you got to put in your time, especially in that town. If you're going to do country music, you got to be in Nashville. So that's why I've been going there for 5 years. 5 years I've been going to Nashville. Do you not?
Oh my goodness.
It's a long time.
I did not realize. Cohen's getting upset.
Remember when we used to live there? Well, not Nashville. We lived in Bowling Green, but we were only 40 minutes away. We'd go into town.
You have a song coming out about Bowling Green.
Oh, yeah. I made a little reference in a new song coming out.
Bowling Green was not fun. You want to know why? I only have one memory there, and it's my ovaries rupturing. Or not my ovaries. What is it? An ovarian cyst.
You had an ovarian cyst. It was like an alien was exploding out of you.
The most painful thing ever. Have you guys ever had an ovarian cyst rupture?
I'm going to take little man and have the girls babysit for a few minutes.
Okay. Mark, my brother's up there with the girls doing homeschool, so my brother can play with him with the girls. So when we lived in Bowling Green, so Kyler used to travel a lot when we first got married. We first lived in Texas for a while. You know, he did door-to-door sales. And as his wife, like, you can't just be with him on the doors all day long in the car. So I would stay home at the apartment. I had no kids at the time. Our TV broke on the way there. We didn't have any cell service in the area we were in, and there was tornado warnings every day. And I just remember sitting in the apartment all day wondering when Kyler was going to come home. It taught me a lot about, like, right now, I feel so grateful that our life is so busy and fast paced, because when I look back at those times, and I even have journal entries because I kept a journal all the time back then because I had nothing else to do. When I look back, I am actually grateful for the hustle now, because there was nothing worse than just being completely bored with nothing you're accomplishing. But after Texas, we moved to Bowling Green. We got there. We were only there for a little while. Probably a couple weeks, and I got an ovarian cyst, which I didn't even know what that was, but it felt like something was just bursting inside of me, which it actually did. It ruptured. I just remember sitting in the bathtub like for hours, just in so much pain. Kyler took me to the hospital, and they did some ultrasounds, and there it was, just my ovarian cyst ruptured. I don't even know what causes that. What is that? I don't even know. I've never even really looked into it. Yeah, that was nuts.
It was a really scary time for me. We were just barely married. We just moved to where we moved, Houston.
But remember, first in Houston, I was telling them how bored I was in that apartment, because you'd be gone all day, and I would sit in that room. I had no TV. Because remember, our TV broke because we got in the accident on the way there. You
were a really good sport, honestly. Like, I was really weird about money when we first got married. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like every little dime. I didn't want to spend anything, but we had the money to buy what we needed to. But I just didn't want to spend money on anything.
I didn't have a car. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a TV because it shattered. All I had was my cell phone, but at the time I wasn't even really doing social media. So there was not really anything to look at. It was just like I would sometimes call my mom.
Yeah.
And
it was wild.
We had no groceries. Like if we wanted to eat food, I'd have to walk to the grocery store. I'd walk. I'm like a mile.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You know that?
I was a real weird. I mean, like, to be honest, I was weird in the beginning when it came to money.
I'd walk to the grocery store and get some random food and bring it home, and then I'd make sure I had dinner ready when Kyler got home.
You were a sweet wife. I always remember, Madison, how cute it was when you would like make dinners and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, Now you don't do that anymore. Just kidding.
Yes, I do. I still make dinners and I have 5 kids.
No. Yeah, Madison just wanted to be her very best as a new wife. It was so cute.
It was fun.
And I wanted to be the best I could be as a husband. I was out there working as hard as I could. I had the worst summer of my life. It was just, I don't know what it was. I think I had the distraction of a new wife, and I didn't care as much or something. I don't know what it was, but
knocking doors is not an easy job.
No.
I remember that's why we started social media, because Kyler was saying, dude, I do not want to keep leaving and knocking doors all summer, leaving you and the kids.
It was bad.
Or we'd have to travel everywhere. But anyway, Bowling Green, that was my only memory. It was my ovarian cyst rupturing, so.
We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, let's move on.
We used to go into town. I remember I have this memory of us going into town in Nashville. We'd go in there every once in a while, and we met with Chantel was there at that time. She lived there. Remember?
Yes.
Chantel.
Yeah, we'd go out in the town and go to little concerts and hang out at her boyfriend's house at the time.
Yeah.
He was also a singer. Well,
it's a fun town. It's a fun town. I really love Nashville. We've had a lot of friends move to Nashville. We have friends that are thinking about moving to Nashville. Like it's crazy.
I definitely think that could be a possibility for the future, but right now it just feels so right to live in San Clemente.
When we do, we'll never, I don't think we'll fully ever move to Nashville. I think we'll have a house in Utah. We'll have a house in California. We'll have a house maybe in Nashville. But when we do, it's going to be on 100 acres.
Oh my gosh, Kyler. I don't need 100 acres.
No, seriously, the other day, you don't need 100 acres. That's fine. You can stay in the house. I need 100 acres.
You can have your side-by-side out there and ride all around and make little
it's not even just that. It's not even just that. Like I was riding horses out in Spring Hill, which is just outside of Nashville, like 45 minutes. And it was the most beautiful moment.
Was it?
It was incredible. It was just incredible. It was so pretty. It reminded me of home a lot, actually.
It's funny how so many people have different end goals. Like for Kyler, that to him seems like his end goal. For me, I could live forever the rest of my life until the day I die in a smaller home right by the ocean. And
that's what we might do.
But we just have different personalities. Like I wouldn't want to live.
It's part of the reason
why. Not that I'm against anyone who has like a farm and like big land, but I don't love being around farm animals or like horses.
You don't have to have farm animals, but if horses. You do.
And I also get nervous if I'm not right by a bunch of things, little restaurants and shopping centers. I
think that's what's cool. That's what's so cool about Nashville actually is there's so much space like out in the outskirts, and then it's just like city.
Okay, so you get like the outskirts and close to a city all at once.
Yeah. One thing I will say though is a lot of those Midwest, southern cities and the outskirt towns, they have the most narrow roads through the trees, and if you are not watching the road, like you're done. Like literally, if you're not watching the road and you're not in the lines at all times, you are off the road. Boom.
Why?
It's crazy. I'll show you. We'll drive. Okay. We'll drive out there and like you have to be paying attention. You cannot be drunk.
I really liked Texas too. Texas was beautiful.
I like Texas because it's wide open spaces, right?
Yeah,
the only thing I don't like about it is huge trees. Texas actually.
It's just very humid.
Very humid.
Right? And hot?
Humid, hot. I don't know if I could do it.
There's so many beautiful places to live in this world.
I've lived all over the country.
I would rather move around and travel my whole life than stay put in one spot forever.
I've lived in Philadelphia. I've lived in New Jersey. I've lived in Florida. I've lived in Idaho.
You've lived
Utah,
almost everywhere.
California.
It's so funny whenever we get in a conversation with anybody, like when we're meeting somebody new. Kyler's always saying, "Oh, where'd you live? I used to live there." Almost every single time.
Yeah, Chicago. I've lived everywhere for like 2, 3 months, 4 months at a time, 5 months. I've lived in Texas probably a full year and a half of my life. It's been crazy. It's been crazy, man.
You know what's crazy? What? This morning I was working out and I had the most random thing happen. We're all working out, me and my friends over here, these moms. Mid-workout, my friend gets this call on her watch and her daughter's crying saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. All the kids are running outside." That's all she got so far with the first memo. And then she gets another one saying, "I don't know what's going on. I'm so scared, Mom." So she gets in her car and just leaves. And we're all working out like, well, what's going on? So she gets back. It turns out there is a bomb warning here in Utah in this cute, safe little community that you would think would never have anything like this. A lady detained in handcuffs in the school building.
A bomb threat at the school that our kids
everywhere.
would be going to.
In our neighborhood, on our street, the elementary school here. Last neighborhood I would ever think. You're not safe anywhere anymore.
No, it doesn't matter. That's why I told you yesterday. I'm kind of not interested in my kids going to school. I like that they're learning in my house, and I like that they're here with us always. They're not in school 7 hours a day being taught by somebody. I don't want them to teach them.
Yeah, Kyler sent me this video last night saying that a lot of the times parents will have their kids grow up and they'll say, why are my kids turning out this way? Why are they acting this way? Or I raised them so well. But then his point was, no, you didn't raise them.
The school
you were
raised
with
them.
them at
the
night.
Government raised them.
And you were with them for breakfast.
Exactly.
But for the 7 hours of the day, somebody else is raising your kids. Somebody else is influencing them. The kids are talking to them. The teachers are talking to them. You don't know what they're influenced, what's around them, what they're teaching. You have no idea.
Yeah.
And then they get older, and if they go astray or they do something that's dangerous or whatever the reason is, if they have turning out in a way that you just don't feel like how you felt you raised them, then you have to remember that you didn't raise them. And and he was saying, it's a sensitive subject because people have to have their kids in school because a lot of the times parents work full time. You can't have your kids at home and have the luxury of that. So it's a hard truth because every parent loves their kids and everyone wants what's best for their kids, and you can't really have both.
Yeah.
You've got to send them to school.
Not everybody
most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a very sensitive video, but it also hit hard in my heart because I was thinking, oh my gosh, that is so true. Like a lot of parents aren't raising their kids majority of their life.
We're lucky to be able to raise our kids.
They're at home 24/7. I mean, we're always with them, but what stresses me out about what we're doing a little bit is, yes, we're always with our kids and it's great. But at the same time, are they learning enough is always what I get stressed about, because you think about how many hours you're doing things at school, the projects, getting in front of the kid, getting in front of your class, public speaking, there's just like a lot, like the essays, the tests, you have to study hard for tests. Here at the house, they don't do tests. They just do review at the end of the chapter. They're knowing it all. But I mean, school, I remember it being hard. I remember it being really challenging to sit there and try to come up with an essay when it's silent in the classroom and you've got to do it. Up here, if they're like struggling through essay, I'm like, okay, well, think of a sentence. And I just kind of help them through it. There's not that pressure. They're kind of in this like little happy homeschool bubble, which I think also is good too. But I don't know. There's something that's good about school as well.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
It's just such a hard decision. Like that bomb threat was so random. I want to know the details so bad. When I find out the details, I'm going to tell you guys, because what lady, it was a lady, is going into a school over here doing a bomb threat. I don't even get it. That makes no sense. Like, I want to know if she just walked in there or if she's like a teacher over there. Dude,
that is so stressful. I would be.
Every kid was just.
Can you imagine if my
back.
kids were over there right now? I would be sprinting to the school.
And you know what? This is good for the schools to learn, because they did not have a system down. When my friend went over there to pick up her daughter, they had this little booklet out there like, what's your name? What's your daughter's name? Oh, they're like flipping through papers. There's a big line of parents trying to get their kids out. They wouldn't let the parent just be like, okay, that's your mom? Yes, that's my mom. Okay, go. Because they're stressed that it's not their parent or whatever the reason is. But in those stressful situations, like, you just want to take your kid and go. You don't want to wait in line, But they don't have a system down. I think each teacher needs to keep track of their own kid or something. I don't know.
Honestly, insane.
But it was nuts. And the mom, my friend, was just like so stressed. But I never thought that would happen in our actual neighborhood. Like, you hear about it, but it was mind blowing. So it just kind of put things into perspective, how that's actually happened to some people. And it's very, very stressful.
And you never think it can happen in your own neighborhood. That's what's crazy.
No, never. So, no one ever thinks anything's going to happen to them.
It's like Happy Valley here. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Not Happy Valley anywhere, because our world is crazy.
We had a few things like that growing up. You know what I mean? Kid brings a gun to school, whatever.
I never had anything crazy like that.
I
did almost get suspended from school once, though.
That's not even the same type of topic.
I remember my teacher said he was going to suspend me for a week, and my mom was so embarrassed that she decided to homeschool me. She's like, actually, yeah, I'm actually homeschooling her, so she like overrode the suspension from a homeschool taking out. So dumb.
Your mom's pretty like scrappy.
She didn't want anything on my record.
She's like, no, actually, she's doing homeschool.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's pretty funny. Okay, so we were watching the boxing match the other night.
Let me help you.
Who was the boxer?
Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia.
That's crazy.
So Kyler, it reminded me because I had on my paper like all the new shows we're watching and like what we've been up to lately. You're watching this boxing match and Kyler was all into it, and I was just thinking about how I never really was into boxing until all the YouTubers like really got into it.
Yeah.
At one point, almost every YouTuber guy was trying to box. Austin McBroom, Kyler went and even tried to box.
Well, yeah,
Jake
remember me and Jake Paul started boxing at the exact same time, actually.
Yeah, Kyler was like sparring down the street with somebody all the time.
I had met Ricky Quiles. They call him Showtime. Big boxer back in the day. Who had that spot off Coenga, across from Universal Studios. And he was a friend of mine already. So I wanted to get in the gym for years, but I never did. But I think Jake kind of inspired me, like, yeah, let's go box. It'd be awesome.
But it was kind of the trend then too.
It was a trend.
Everybody was boxing that was YouTubers at one point.
I just like couldn't keep up on it. I was just like, oh man, I got these kids. I had like 3 kids at the time, almost 3. Well, we had.
So what I've noticed is like a lot of the times a trend will come. A lot of people will jump on it. Everyone tries it. And then there's only a few that always stick to something. Mm-hmm. So with the boxing thing, like I feel like Jake was the only one that took it super serious and kept going with it. With your music stuff, so many YouTubers are creating music. And what bugs me so much about, it gave us all opportunity. The YouTube thing did help with the beginning of your music. So I'm grateful for that platform and for everybody kind of trying new things. I think it's great to try new things. But I love that you've been sticking to your music. And I've had some friends reach out to me lately and saying, this wasn't just like a YouTube thing. He's serious about this.
Oh yeah, I'm dead serious.
And you are. And a lot of people are trying music, and sometimes I can't tell if they're serious yet. Like you have to give it a couple years and see.
There's a few people that are doing music. They're doing music just anyways. It doesn't matter. I played and sang my whole life. I just never did anything with it until really social media gave me my wings to fly. You know what I mean?
It puts you in the opportunity to be able to try something new because it gives you freedom to do it in a way.
Yeah. I feel the most free that I ever have actually doing this. And it is weird how consistent. I can see how
much you love it, and so it's inspiring.
I love it. I don't think I'm the greatest. I don't think I'm super special or anything like that, but I just love it more than anything. I love getting my stories
out there in music.
Out there through song. It's very cool. I like the song I wrote about you. Every time I leave, man. Every time I leave, I get this like wrenching feeling in my heart. Like I hate it. It's like I hate getting on the plane, even though I know I'm going to do what I like to do. Mm-hmm. Know what? It hurts.
That song that you sent me about the one that you just wrote was so good, and I'm really excited for everybody to hear it. And what I love about people pursuing talents, even if they're not the best, it drives me nuts when people post something on Instagram when they're trying something, and people will just attack them. And they're like, why are you doing this? I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about in general. I've seen other people, I'm not going to name drop, but they'll post something and everyone's attacking them that they're not good at it. Or why are you doing this? Or whatever. And good for them for trying. I mean, it's a bigger fail to not try anything in your life.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I put myself out there enough. I hold myself back a lot. And I think one day I'm going to be more sad that I didn't try harder at things.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like I just posted this video that I just posted this video of me playing the guitar out there, and I like mess up a couple times, but it doesn't matter. It's raw. It's cool.
I mean, who is the judge of what is perfect and what is allowed and what's allowed to be heard and what's allowed to be done? Who's the judge? It's just, I think it's good that everyone's trying new things. So good job, Kyler. I'm being consistent with your music, and I'm excited for all your new songs and your concert this summer.
Yeah, I got cut from a show this week.
I'm glad you stopped boxing.
I wasn't really gonna box
because I don't want you to get beat up.
Why would I get beat up?
It's just a scary thing for somebody to let their husband go box. I don't know. Just good for them. Good for the wives out there who are supportive of that.
I'm actually really sad I think when you said that, like, good for you or whatever you said.
What?
Nico Valdez. You know Nico? He was like a really good, like, professional boxer, like really good.
No way.
He could have gone the distance, really. But I think it was just hard for his wife, to watch him do that and their family.
It is. Some of those sports that are kind of like life risk. I mean, I don't think people probably die a lot in boxing, but I mean, you get beat up pretty good. Mm-hmm. That's stressful. And so I think some of those like risky sports, you kind of slow down a little bit as you get older. Like Kyler, he was saying the other day he was a little bit sad because he hasn't skied this year. It's his first year ever not skiing in his life.
First year.
I mean,
Didn't go once.
And
not because I didn't want to, but
for a second I felt sad and I was thinking, well, you're doing other new things too, you know? Like, it's not always about throwing those big jumps off those skis the rest of your life because you're in a new chapter. This whole podcast is about embracing the new chapters and new seasons and not comparing yourself to your old self and just...
Or other people.
Yeah. My sister the other day was talking about seasons. She's an artist and she was drawing different types of affirmation drawings. And one of the things that she's drawing is she wanted everyone to send in positive affirmations. And one of the things was kind of what I just said about the seasons, how there is a little seed and that little seed has so much potential to grow big and strong. And imagine when it's a little sprout, how it's so sad that it's not as big as the tree next to it.
Yeah.
And like, how sad is that? Because every tree and every plant has its own season, just as we do as humans. So if you are just starting something and you're not at where you want to be right now, as soon as you compare yourself to that other tree, you just let go of everything you are.
Or it's like the sun and the moon.
Hey, I saw that too. The sun and the moon can't shine at the same time, right? Is that how it goes?
Well, yeah, essentially. But they shine at different times.
Yes.
So like maybe that seed grows up to be a bigger tree.
Yep. You never know.
Maybe that big tree gets hit by lightning in a thunderstorm. Whoops. And that can happen. You could be so big. You could have so much money. You could be so put together. And then you could die. Or you could get cancer or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
sad. Yeah,
we're all,
but it's true.
At different times, like our lives are going to do this. Everybody's life, no matter how big and tough you think you are, like the world can take you down pretty quick and humble you. So
at any time, God's plan's bigger.
You just never know.
It's better.
That's why you should be friends with everybody.
And how are we talking around our children?
Not good. Not as good as we should. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's something we need to work on.
Oh, dude.
And I'm not talking just about when we get angry and
you're
sometimes
talking
argue. I'm talking about also if we're comparing if we're looking in the mirror and going, like I will sometimes look in the mirror and go, oh, I look so bad today. I have acne all over my face. Oh, my hair, like it dries so puffy. I have to go do my hair. Like whatever it is that I'm complaining about, our kids are listening to that. And now they're thinking one person that they're looking up to, which is their mom or their dad. My mom doesn't think she's attractive. My mom doesn't think she's pretty. My mom's not confident, and that just teaches them to be like that when they grow up.
Yeah. I know. I notice they do that to themselves too sometimes. So we got to be really careful,
Yeah. Like sometimes I'm trying
Halston.
to think of an example with what?
Halston for sure. Like her hair and like everything has to be.
She'll be, she's
you're
always
5.
worried.
What are you doing? You're 5.
She's always worried, so particular about her having her hair. Like our girls are very into fashion and looking a certain way, which I think is adorable because they love waking up in the morning, getting themselves dressed head to toe with accessories, hair clips. They just love it. It's really cute, but it's to the point where they won't go out of the house unless, oh, my hair is too messy. We have to put it up. Or there's a bump, Mom. There's a bump in my ponytail. Fix it or I can't go into my dance class. Like they're very bossy with their hair getting like, everything has to be like so spot on.
I was the same way when I was a kid, but my mom was a hairstylist. We don't really have an excuse.
She's always just walking around with her scissors. Oh, a little piece here. Got to cut this little piece there.
Not quite, but like pretty much. Running her hands through my dad's hair. He hated it. Like he hated it more than anything. Actually, it was like maybe he liked it. I don't know.
It is hard. I'll go through phases where I kind of let myself go, and then it'll be a month where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to just look like I need to get some stuff done. My hair, my nails. I haven't had my nails done in months. My hair has grown out. I like just there's things like that where you just want to go and do something for yourself. I think that's okay.
Yeah. Well, we took a few notes.
You took some notes, Kyler?
Mm-hmm.
What's your next note?
Really, I think we should go back to the house thing. We are moving again.
I'm looking right in front of me right now on this podcast. 5 Home Depot boxes stacked to the ceiling.
That's actually 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're right.
6 boxes.
I counted wrong.
Sorry, I didn't mean to correct you, but
I need to go back to school.
Maybe go back to elementary school. You know what I mean?
Maybe school's not good. Maybe it doesn't teach you much.
I don't think so. It didn't do much for you.
I think it actually did start my anxiety, to be honest.
Yeah.
I got a lot of anxiety trying to be enough all the time, enough for the friends there at the playground, enough for the grade that they get to decide. You know what I mean?
Let's go back to the essay thing really quick, and then we'll go back to the house thing. Like, just because you remember having to write essays, how did that really serve you?
It didn't. It made me have anxiety. I remember sitting there in my class, tapping my pencil, thinking, looking to the side. Oh, that kid's already halfway. Oh my gosh, she already has her first paragraph done. I can't think of anything. I would get this overwhelming anxiety that my brain wasn't working. I'm not smart enough. And then it would cripple me and my brain wouldn't work and I could not think of my topic sentence. And I just remember I still have stress about my essays.
Yeah.
I was not good at writing essays.
I think that the world tries to condition us to become a certain type of cookie cutter person. And I don't think that school is necessarily for everyone. You know, our kids are in the arts. That's what they do. And
they're the happiest, creative, imaginative kids.
They're in the arts, and you know, like they got some good stuff going right now. We got some really cool things happening right now with us, and you guys will find out soon enough. But I mean,
nuts. We might be living in a different country.
We might be moving to a different country for a little bit, for a little opportunity.
Don't get my hopes up, Kyler. We'll know in the next week.
Yeah, we should know very, very shortly if that is happening. By the way, we need to pick up our passports. Those came in.
Wait, I thought they were sending them to us.
No, I pick
them
them up at the office. I'm going to call her right after this, actually.
Oh, that was a cute day. We went and got passports for all the kids. Now we can travel anywhere.
Let's go to Mexico for a little bit. That would be fun.
Mexico's always fun. Sometimes I get nervous.
Nah.
About Mexico? No?
Nah.
It's good?
Yeah, it's okay.
Safe for little kids?
Yeah, it's safe enough.
Because I know a lot of it's run by the drug cartel, and there's some corrupt police that pull you over and try to take your money.
That's the only thing that's corrupt. Cartels are good. No, they're not good. Cartels are not good. But they're not going to take it. They want tourists. They want tourists
and a good experience.
Yeah, because they run all those things down there.
Okay. Let us know in the comments some really awesome tropical places that you've taken your kids. It's family friendly.
We just need to ask
I'm always
Christine.
looking for that.
We need to ask Christine and Cody Andrews. They go everywhere with their kids.
There are just some people that just travel everywhere.
That's a girl.
The bucket list family.
Hey,
what?
That is somebody you should have on here, Christine Andrew. She's
that would be awesome.
No, seriously.
We should try to see if the bucket list family will come on too.
Yeah, if they're ever in town.
I'm always getting excited to ask new people to come
if they're
on
not in Antarctica. It's like...
If you guys don't follow the bucket list family, I'm just going to talk about them real quick because it is just crazy. You know, they take their family, all these, how many kids do they have? 3 kids?
Yeah.
4 kids. They travel the entire world. They were jumping off of a ship into ice cold water.
In Antarctica. It took them 23 days to get there on a ship.
23 days on a boat with their kids. I just don't know if I could physically and mentally do that with my toddlers. I go on a 1.5 hour flight to California and I've got Cohen opening and shutting the airport tray, opening and shutting the window, taking off the seatbelt, buckling the seatbelt, getting down, dropping his snacks all over the floor. Every time I pull out a snack, drops on the floor. He wants to turn on the air conditioning. He doesn't want to leave the headphones on. Then he wants the headphones on. I mean, I could go on and on. That's only like 30 minutes in. And then we got another hour left. Yeah. And my mind's going crazy. And it's hard. It's hard traveling with kids. I don't know how anybody does that. And if we do have to move to a new country, when we find out.
Your mom's coming.
That is going to be one heck of a flight. I had a plan. Imagine this. We buy one first class ticket because they're so expensive. We buy one first class ticket. Anytime a kid's starting to get so antsy where they can't function anymore, you take them to the front and they get a rest and take a little nap, and then we swap. Everyone gets a turn. The kids get a turn to like lay down in the little bed up there.
Yeah.
Have some space.
I think if we book this, they're probably going to book us business class.
No, not for 7 people.
Yes,
8 people.
Yes, they will. Yeah,
they will. Think?
100%.
Okay, well, we'll see.
It'll be in the budget. It'll be in the contract.
Also, I just got an invitation this week for a wedding from my cousin who's getting married, and they invited us to the wedding in Italy. So are we doing that?
Just a bunch of Italians around here, you know?
That sounds fun, but we'll see. We'll see if we can do that. I've always wanted to go to Italy. I really want, I know you guys send nice comments in the comments, but I really want, if you're listening to this and you've gotten this far, comment where has really been your favorite vacation spot. Because we're getting in the season of traveling soon here, and I'm ready to go somewhere cool.
You might be just content living where we're living, because that house down there by the beach with a nice ocean view from our bedroom and everything. I mean, it's like gonna be great.
I am so excited. I just can't.
It's not as big of a house.
I designed the girls' entire bedroom last night on my own. I spent hours doing it, and it turned out really cute.
Yeah, it did. Madison's a little designer.
I would never call myself a designer until I made this room, and it just looks so adorable that I just want it to exist now. And now I'm just so impatient. I just want to move in. The girls are so excited.
Did you show them?
Yes. Every time I'm designing rooms, Oliver says, "Mom, I want like a slide in my room and a bunk bed." And I was thinking, okay, a bunk bed would be cool. It would give them more space. He's going to share a room with Cohen, but I'm so worried at night when they're sleeping that Cohen's going to climb up the crib and then fall like off the ladder. That I just don't feel like I would have a peace of mind.
Put him on the bottom.
I know, but he can just get up and walk up in the middle of the night.
He has to fall every once in a while to learn. That's how it works.
And what if the boys are like arguing in the top bunk, and then Oliver pushes him off the top?
The girls have fallen off their bunk bed a couple times.
Yeah, and she broke her arm.
Yeah.
And I don't want that.
And they learned.
Or we can just give them.
Breaking your arm is something that almost every kid does in their life.
I think we should just. Okay, I had an idea. You know how I love turning every room into kids' rooms. So the loft upstairs, we buy one of those like house beds that has the slide in the staircase and everything, but we don't put a mattress in it. You know what I mean? And then it's like a reading nook. They can go up there, and then if we ever have our kids grow up, it's not built in. You just get rid of it.
That's the thing, is I'm not really into that. I like the built-in stuff.
No, because then it's stuck there forever.
Yeah.
We can't change it out. I think it'll be fun. I mean, if you want to do built-in stuff, I'm down.
I think we should get into the house first and then make all those decisions. That's the thing that I hate, is when we make decisions before we're even there. We should plan when we're there.
Yeah, true.
So
I just get excited.
Yeah, I know.
You know what else I was excited about that launched this week? Has anyone listened to Taylor Swift's new album?
I have.
You have?
Not the whole thing.
I've only listened to 2 songs. I was talking to my friend about it. She was saying just don't listen to it with your kids because there's a lot of like vulgar, like I guess she says the F word a lot, which is kind of sad for her because a lot of her audience is teens and kids going with their parents to these concerts.
I always wonder why they feel the need. To express themselves that way. It's whatever, but it's just so like you have so many impressionable young fans, you know?
It just
like my daughter,
nuts.
My daughter, Halston, she loves Taylor Swift, but
Yeah.
I feel like I can't really, it's just like, I don't know. I just don't want her speaking that way, you know?
I just want for once to have one super amazing role model for kids that stays the role model for kids.
Yeah.
Why is it that they always have to go the other way? Or, I mean, I'm not saying that I haven't listened to Taylor Swift songs yet. I've only listened to one of them. So I'm coming off of what my friend has said. I don't know how many F words she's throwing out there, but it is hard in some of the songs when they're listening to there is one song that she has now that has the F word, and I just don't play that one for the girls, you know?
Yeah. It's whatever. To each their own. If that's the way you want to represent yourself, then great. That's good for you. You know?
Yeah, but they really do look up to her.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Cool. Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I was just asking who's listened to it. Let me know in the comments what you guys have been thinking about her new songs, if you like them as much. Sometimes when I first hear her songs, they're so wordy that I have to like really listen to the lyrics to like fall in love with it. The more you listen to her songs, the more that they become catchy. But at first, it's always so long.
I like that song Black Dog.
It
sounds like Dashboard Confessional, and she made some references to like some music I used to listen to back in the day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard. I haven't.
From the starting line. Do you remember the starting line? Have you ever heard the starting line?
No.
Oh well. Anyways, she makes a reference to music I used to listen to growing up. Brings back a lot of memories. You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, if anyone takes anything from this podcast, I really want. This week, my goal was to just stop comparing myself to others. And it's really hard to get that confidence and just not care what people think about who you are. A lot of the times like what I struggle with, what's always been what I'm self-conscious is I sometimes feel like I'm not very smart. I don't feel like I've read a lot of books and I know a lot what's going on in the world. And so for me, that's my one thing that's always been in the back of my mind is I'm not smart enough for this. I'm not smart enough for that. I'm not smart enough to talk to this person. I'm not smart enough to do a podcast. Like I have always these hesitations, but you know what I am good at? Because I'm really good at being creative and fun and imaginative with kids.
One of the things that I struggle with is I know I'm not smart. I know for sure, but I'm really good at execution. I like to execute and get things done. You know, that's what I'm good at.
In a successful community and world, it's about a lot of people having their strengths and working together. It's never about everybody being good at everything. That doesn't work. That's not how the world's meant to be.
No, I just feel it feels unfortunate that I was not born with much of a brain. It's too bad.
The thing is, Kyler, is you and I can set a goal starting this week. We could start reading books. Okay. You learn a lot from books.
Oh, I believe that, but I
can't read books.
I have to have a pill. I have to have a pill to help me focus because I have such a hard time reading. It is so hard for me.
Well, oh shoot. The kids are going to call from their school and no one picked them up.
Mark is picking them up.
Oh,
maybe check Mark's text message though and make sure he's not like, hey, they won't let me pick them up or something, you know?
Kyler. Oh, he's asking if we went in and out.
Gosh, Tucker Wetmore's killing it, man. Sold out show already. You look like waves on a sunset. You know that guy? He's so good.
I do.
He's like the next Morgan Wallen, I'm telling you.
You know, another thing I'm not very good at, since I'm just on this rant now, I'm not good at names. Like any famous person, it could be a list that every single person knows. Drop their name to me, I won't know who they are. It's true.
John Stamos.
Besides that, because you talk about him 24/7.
Veronica Corningstone.
So Kyler has this like ongoing thing with the kids where every time they're like, Dad, he goes, I'm not your dad. And then they go, okay, who are you then? He goes, John Stamos. And it's like this joke.
So dumb. It's the dumbest joke ever.
And he does it all the time when they're yelling his name through the house. And so now the kids will go, John Stamos.
This isn't that funny, and I don't know how this happened, but maybe because we watched Jeffrey Dahmer, but Jeffrey Dahmer came up, and Jeffrey Dahmer is somebody who like murdered like 17 men.
He's terrible.
17 men. So every once in a while, Oliver will be like, "You're like, no, that wasn't Dad. That was Jeffrey Dahmer." Like,
so Kyler and I had the name Jeffrey Dahmer like stuck in our head because remember we used to say Jeffrey Owens all the time.
Yes.
Okay, so let me take this back for a second. Kyler and I do this thing since the day we met where we just say random things that make absolutely no sense.
Oh.
Okay, it started from me.
You were Mrs. like imaginary friend girl.
Anytime we're in the car and it's like we're just like driving, I'll just be like, Jeffrey Owens? Sharon? Like I'll just say names and it's just always this like ongoing joke. It's not that funny. I know, it's so stupid. So over the years, we've had these names: Veronica Corningstone, Jeffrey Owens,
okay,
whatever,
anyways.
Cheryl.
Yeah.
So after a while, Jeffrey Owens turned into Jeffrey Dahmer, but I don't know why. It's just like it sounded like it came off the tongue easy, like Jeffrey Dahmer. But we didn't realize that the words that we were saying, Jeffrey Dahmer was a murderer. So we would say his name all the time, like, "Hey, Jeffrey Dahmer," and stuff like that. And then the kids caught on to it. They don't know who Jeffrey Dahmer was. So then all of a sudden, Oliver, out of nowhere, we're just all hanging out. And he says, when did he say he said he was Jeffrey Dahmer?
I'm like, dude, no, you're not.
Oh, I know what it was.
I don't remember.
He farted in the car.
Oh.
And all the kids were like, ew, Oliver. He's like, it wasn't me. It was Jeffrey Dahmer.
So dumb.
And I'm like, the fact that he's saying Jeffrey Dahmer's name, like,
we should probably try.
Is so bad because of what if he was in preschool and he said that and the teacher's going, what are your parents teaching you about this murder?
He's probably said it more than once.
Gosh, I just get so nervous what my kids are going to do out there in the public, you know?
That's why we don't let them in public.
That's why we keep our kids in the house all day long. Nothing can go wrong.
All right, well.
Okay.
We got some big changes going on. That's the moral of this podcast. We got some big things going on.
Remember your worth, everybody.
And we're all growing and learning and what's that seed thing you said? Yeah. At different
you
stages.
might be the little seed that's about to sprout. You might be the big tree that's already sprouted, providing shade for somebody else. Oh, that's another. Once you're the big tree, you can start helping. It's like the giving tree. You're providing shade for other animals.
Most people
and
don't, man. That's the thing. Most people are trash. They get big and they're like, oh, I want to keep them there. You know?
Yeah, they're the big tree and they're like, oh, I'm the big tree. No one else can. My roots are already so deep in this ground. No one's gonna. grow here.
Anyways, we get it. All right. Well, thanks for coming on the Madlife podcast.
Thank you everyone for hanging out with us. Cohen didn't last very long, but my little Coey boy is turning 2 this week and I'm so excited. See more of us on our Instagrams.
Yep.
Madison
Instagrams.
Bontempo,
And
Kyler Fisher.
We're on listening platforms too. So if you guys don't know that already and you just come here every week to watch the podcast, you can actually listen everywhere you would listen to podcasts as well. So Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, whatever.
Woo. And we'll see you on the next podcast. Go make a difference. I love you all. See you later.
Peace.
Goodbye.